All right, so I did my diversity field experience on being Japanese in the United States. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I have a friend and neighbor, Hiroko, who I've become really close with, and I wanted to know more about her heritage and just what it's like to be an immigrant into the United States, specifically a Japanese immigrant. Also, as you can see in my name, Keiko is Japanese. And I was named after one of my mom's really close friends, and her name is Keiko, and she was from Japan as well. And so I really have always wanted to learn more about their culture, heritage, and everything that all encompasses. And I thought this would be a really great opportunity to do that. So the first part of my field experience was actually attending an event at MSU Mankato, which was held by the Japanese Student Association. So I went to that on October 12th, and it was called The Beauty of Japan. And it was so neat because they had basically four seasons within it. So spring, summer, winter, and fall. And what they did was they applied all the different regions of Japan within each of the seasons and all the really important cultural significant events that they do throughout that time, including their artwork, their food, their dance, their music, and all of that. And we were able the whole night to see performances by Japanese people, including martial arts, food, drumming, dance, music, a traditional graduation ceremony, a clothing runway, and we learned about anime too. So, Japanese heritage. It is very important for Japanese people to preserve their heritage and traditions. Evenings like Beauty in Japan help to connect Japanese Americans within Mankato as well. So, for my neighbor, she went with me, and it was a really important place for her to connect with other Japanese people in the United States. So, she really, she goes there and she can speak her language with her daughter as well. And so it's a great place to socialize, but also for those of us who are not Japanese, also a great place to learn about Japanese heritage. And again, it helps to preserve and teach others about their language, their art, music, and their food. This is a picture from the event, and this is two traditional drummers doing the introduction ceremony at the very beginning of the event. So this is a picture from the night with my son Grant. And what was so cool is they had all this art. And as we went through, our neighbor and her daughter were able to explain the significance of each one of these pieces of art. They also had a place where you could make wishes as well. And so what you do is you would write on a tag and then hang it. And then it was supposed to offer to the gods basically good wishes and health and all of that. And so that was really, really cool to do as well. So this is the traditional drumming ceremony that I'm going to show a little snippet of. So enjoy. How wonderful that this was all in Mankato. So I think that's so cool that we were able to go to MSU and just really have a night and dive into Japanese heritage and all their wonderful traditions. And not only their traditions, but also see popular culture as well. So I really enjoyed seeing different dances that they do and music that they listen to. It was a really wonderful night to just be exposed to Japanese heritage, and I absolutely loved it. So the second part of my field experience was to not only attend this event with my neighbor Hiroko, so that's us with our kids right there, and our two kids are the closest of friends. So Her daughter right here is wearing a traditional kimono, and it was really fun for her to wear because there aren't a lot of places in Mankato where she can just wear her kimono. So it was really fun that she was able to do that night. So we attended this event together, and it was really cool to be able to ask her questions and just, again, understand her culture, all the different important pieces of it, and to be really exposed to that as well. So the goals of my interview with her were to understand how Japanese Americans teach their children about their heritage, how she feels a part of our community. As a Japanese American, what do you wish others knew about you? And the biggest challenge of being Japanese in America. So my findings. The participant, Hiroko, from my interview teaches her child about their heritage by, first, they travel to Japan every summer. And so during that time, her daughter goes to Japanese school for 2 months where she's completely immersed into Japanese traditions in school, language, math, reading, writing, all of it. So she attends a local elementary school and does that for 2 months every summer to just keep refining her Japanese language and reading and writing. She also makes sure to take her daughter to Japanese events, whether they're in Mankato or up in the cities. She's very good about doing that as well and exposing her to those. Finding Japanese Americans in the area to connect with. Hiroko told me that she has a group that they often get together and they do potlucks together just to be able to talk together, share ideas, talk about Japan, and just feel connected with their home. She also does Japanese homeschooling with her daughters. So after she goes to public school here in Mankato, oftentimes after school, she'll have homework that she has to do in Japanese as well. And throughout the summer, she continues to do Japanese homeschooling during the month that they are not in Japan. So, and another great way that Hiroko told me is she actually has her daughter watch Japanese television. So she told me a story about recently her daughter didn't understand something that she said in Japanese. And so then she immediately said to me, well, I thought then we need to be watching more Japanese TV. And I thought that was a really interesting way to, again, keep her up on her Japanese language and being able to connect with her daughter as well. So, and another way that they like to connect with Japanese heritage is by eating traditional foods as well. So she oftentimes makes Japanese food and even has miso soup for breakfast. So to feel a part of the community, she goes to church and has met a lot of people through her church community. Working has helped. She works various seasonal employment throughout the year, and that has helped to meet friends as well. And she's also met friends through her daughter and then living in the neighborhood. That's how we met, is that we are neighbors. And so at first, when she first moved here, she didn't know anyone and felt pretty isolated. But then over the years, she told me that she's been meeting more and more people as she gets out into the community more and feels more confident with her English skills as well. So one thing that she wishes that people knew is that Japan is one of many Asian countries. Americans may think we look alike, but we are very different. Our politics, heritage, culture, and pride. And that was something she really stressed, that everyone across Asian countries are very different. So the biggest challenge for her actually is being able to find a job. So just again, that English, Japanese language barriers has been hard for her to find a job in her field because she's going against native English speakers. So she's hoping as the years progress and she becomes more confident that someday she will be able to find a job in her field. Also, another challenge that she expressed is just really making sure that her daughter doesn't become too confused with being bilingual. So that's something that she's had to work with her on as well. So this is a great Japanese proverb that I found. Kindness will never be wasted in any way. And I really, from this interview and from this diversity field experience, I learned that we are all so different, and it's what makes us just really beautiful and awesome, and to be able to connect with others at such a wonderful personal level and learn about their culture and their heritage is incredibly important to just enrich our lives, enrich the lives of our children and of our students.